Hello everyone, my name is Lewolf and today we're going to be talking about Freddy Krueger in Dead by Daylight. So, if you are unaware, Freddy Krueger, the newest killer and the newest person to join the fog, is getting a nerf. Now, we don't know how much of these nerfs I'm going to name. They have not said they are guaranteed to put them in the game. They may not put any of them, they may put some of them, they may put all of them. We just don't know. I'm going to treat this video as if they are bringing them all into the game just for the sake of understanding what each one would do to Freddy himself. I'm also going to do a brief overview right now of his abilities, so in case you're newer to the fog or you don't quite understand what he does, here we'll do a quick explanation of him. Explanation. I hate that word. So, starting off, Freddy is completely invisible as he exists in the dream world. So, survivors cannot see him. They can see the rustling of the grass, and they can see moving of corn, and they can see him interacting with objects, aka breaking a pallet or opening up a closet, but they cannot interact with him. Freddy, so this means they can't body block him or anything like that. He's completely out of their view. They can, however, blind him with a flashlight. I'll say that. Once Freddy finds a survivor, he uses power on them, and they have a 7-second transition time where they transition into the dream state. This transition time, they can see Freddy, and they're adding a buff to him, so Freddy will actually flash in and out of seeing. We'll explain that here more in a second. They can see him, but he can't hurt them at all. They're still invincible for those 7 seconds. After those 7 seconds expire, Freddy can now hurt them. They are in the dream world with him, and the survivors have a 50% debuff to action speed, so they're slower when they go to do a generator or heal, or pretty much everything they do is 15% slower. And their aura is revealed to Freddy if they leave his terror radius. Now they can wake up from being in the dream world with another survivor finding them, or with failing of a healing skill check or a generator skill check. And it doesn't have to be you who fails it. So if all three of you guys are all in the dream world and one person fails a generator skill check, it'll actually wake everyone that's working on that generator up. And just quick little caveat, if you are in the transition phase and you fail a skill check, you do also wake up from that too. So if he's putting you to sleep and you just work on a generator and you get a skill check, you will actually wake up during that transition, so he can't hurt you. He'll have to put you through that 7 seconds again. Now, let's talk about the nerfs they're bringing to him. So, number one, they're making it so he'll have a slow when he uses his ability on a survivor. So, I don't know how much this slow will be, but Freddy was released with a video kind of detailing his abilities. And in this video, he was pretty slow. He was almost like survivor walking speed when he used his ability. So, they're adding a slow to him, so during that 7 seconds, he will be that much slower. They're also going to be adding an increased terror radius when a survivor is awake. This will allow survivors more time to know when he is coming, since his biggest thing right now is his terror radius is pretty small. And how it works is, if he walks to a generator, you're going to hear his little lullaby. It's not a heartbeat, it's a lullaby. You can't tell where he's at with this lullaby, but they're increasing it so that you have more time to hide and kind of sneak away from him. I don't think this change would be that big of a deal to him. I think this actually might be a good change, as I personally feel his tracking may be too strong, but his chasing is I think either on par or too weak. They are going to add a 10-second delay to him reading your aura when you leave his terror radius if you're in the dream world. So you're running from Freddy, you lose him, you get out of his terror radius, you have 10 seconds to find someone to wake you up or to fail a skill check before your aura will be revealed to you. Your aura will be revealed to him. Pardon me. They are going to combine two actions. So as of right now, if a survivor is dying in the dying state, you have to walk up to them, you have to wake them up and then heal them. They're going to combine that into just one healing action. So you walk up to a survivor, you heal them, it automatically wakes them up if they're in the dying state. I don't believe this works for injured state. I am 99% sure on that. They are going to be buffing adrenaline and nerfing Remember Me. Buffing adrenaline is going to allow it to wake you up from the dream state if when adrenaline pops, if you're in the dream state, you wake up from it. This will be an absolute terror for Freddy, because if you're chasing somebody who's in the dream state, and let's say you have them one hit, you hit them once, they will heal, they'll get a sprint burst, and they'll wake up. Freddy will have to use his ability to put them back in the dream state, which will make him slower, and he'll be slower, and sprint burst will activate. Then they're obviously going to leave his terror radius, because terror radius isn't that far, and that will give them 10 more seconds before they actually reveal, so they'll probably be about the other side of the map. They're nerfing Remember Me, and I think that this is one that I really don't want to go through. This is probably one of the biggest ones, besides maybe the slowdown on his power. Is they're gonna make it so if the obsession dies, then half your stacks of Remember Me are lost. Now the problem with this is who's going to want to leave an obsession alive for a perk that has to deal with the gates being open. They said they want to push and pull perks with their obsessions. With obsession perks, they want to push and pull like a positive and negative. The problem is I thought the positive and negative was the fact that the obsession could open the door at normal speed and other survivors couldn't. But with these changes, you're also going to want to leave the obsession alive, which why would you want to leave? First off, you have to leave alive the only one that can open them at normal speed. And why do you want to leave a survivor alive when the doors are being opened? Like, the whole point is to kill them. Why would you leave them alive? I can't think of any scenario that's even close to like plausible that would actually be that you'd want to have a survivor alive with the doors are open. It's not going to work out very well at all. They are going to buff him slightly. I told you about, gave you a little sneak peek of this earlier. They're going to make it so while you're in the transition, Freddy's going to like flash in and out of existence, so you can kind of see him, you can't see him, you can't. This will kind of add a spoopy act, kind of thing to him. It's not that big a deal, especially if they make him as slow as I think they're going to make him. Then that will completely be negated. So let's, we'll see. I'm obviously not psychic. I don't know how he's going to work out. Now let's talk about Freddy's weaknesses and strengths as of right now. His strengths are finding and tracking people. His weaknesses are chasing. Unlike other survivors, Freddy or other killers, Freddy is the only killer that actually has to use his power to hurt somebody. He's completely useless without it. And his power has no ability to chase. The only other killer that can't chase with their power is Wraith. Every other killer, their power can be used in a chase. Hag can put a trap behind a pallet, so when they run through, they throw the pallet down, they get hit with a hag trap. Trapper can trap it. Chainsaws can break pallets. Chainsaws can get them. Obviously, Huntress and Nerfs have their pallet or anti-pallets ability. Freddy has to chase him with him and the Wraith, and I'm gonna compare those two a lot in this video because I feel like they're buffing the Wraith because everyone knows he's bad. I don't think there's anyone on this planet that thinks the Wraith is actually a good killer as of right now. That's why they're making it so he has a faster reappearance time. That's why they're making it so when he's invisible, he actually can see and track a lot better. They're giving him these buffs, but they're nerfing Freddy, I feel like, to be almost to what he is, because Freddy and Wraith are pretty similar. And as of right now, Freddy has a 7-second cooldown before he can even hit a survivor. Wraith has a 3-second right now. He's getting buffed to 2 seconds, I believe. So while I don't understand why people are complaining that Freddy has a free hit on you if he finds you, because you have 7 seconds to find a window or a pallet, which is plenty of time. Heaven forbid you fail a skill check in that time, 7 more seconds. Plus, if he's slowed, it's gonna be the easiest thing to get away from Freddy. Wraith, on the other hand, 3-second cooldown. Everyone complains that he's too weak. So I don't understand where these reviews are, because if you look at the reviews on the DLC and of the game, people were saying that Freddy was completely overpowered, and that if you don't nerf Freddy, then the game's gonna be broken. No one's ever gonna play it. They left bad reviews for the game, and this is why the devs, I think, within 1 week decided to nerf Freddy, or at least to announce that he was going to be nerfed, so that they wouldn't get. I mean, obviously, if you're a developer of a game, you don't want your game to have negative reviews. You need to get sales. So I can understand them why this, but I don't understand why people would want to nerf him so bad, because that was one of the biggest points. You got a free hit off you. That was one of the big points. Another thing people were saying was that he's amazing at tunneling you, because since his ability allows you to read your aura, so he kind of will never lose you. Well, the problem is with that is any killer can really tunnel you. It's not a new concept. Doctor can use his ability to make you go insane, and your character will scream over and over again. If he's running Nurse's Calling, he's not going to lose you, because as soon as you try to snap out of it, you're doing a healing action, he's going to find you. Wraith, when these buffs go through, will be great at finding you. There are plenty of killers that actually have this mechanic that allow you to really tunnel if you want to. But that's where the survivors need it. I mean, looping is a thing in the game. I don't think it's the best thing, but it's something that's going to happen, and we can't really stop it as of right now. And looping is one of Freddy's biggest weaknesses, because he can't stop you in any way. He actually has a low terror radius even when you're chasing somebody, so it's hard to get yourself even to have a bloodlust up. Because if a survivor gets far enough away, then Freddy will actually lose his bloodlust, because of his terror radius is kind of linked to his bloodlust. Freddy also has a permanent fog on him too, so keep that in mind. He's always fogged, so his tracking is still good, but that's just something that you have to think about is permanent fog, perma-fog. Perks. Freddy's perks, I don't think were that good. This is something else I want to talk about, is with nerfing Remember Me, you're making Freddy's perks, like, I didn't think they were good at all, but now they're completely useless. And his perks were a big point in him. And people also, another thing they were said on the forums and on reviews and stuff was that he had free Deerstalker and free Nurse's Calling and free all these perks with his aura reading ability, but he also has plenty of perks that don't work for him. If you use Distressing, if you use Unnerving Presence that cause more skill checks, if you use Overwhelming, not Overwhelming Presence, whatever, the Overcharge, where you hit a gen and makes it so that it sparks. There are plenty of perks on him that actually will make it harder because you'll give a survivor a free skill check. So you give him some free perks, but you make perks that are completely useless on him. And I feel like those, the perks that he has are all endgame perks, as you can obviously tell. That is because he has no endgame at all himself. Freddy's biggest strength in endgame is that there are no generators for someone to mess up and lose a skill check on. That is his biggest endgame, which is kind of sad, in my opinion. If his inability to defend a hook is one of his biggest endgame problems. If you catch somebody close to the gates and they're being opened, you have to put them on the hook. Obviously, it's close to the gates, and then another survivor who is awake can just run up to the guy, pull him off the hook, and they can both run out before those 7 seconds expire, and you can't even hurt them. And this won't account for that slow that Freddy's gonna have. I really don't think that Freddy should have been nerfed so soon. I think this was something that he's a strong killer in the fact that he can find you, but in ultimate he's kind of a weak killer. I think he's going to become a easily watered down Wraith. I think that Freddy was not top tier. I think he had potential to use mind games, which gave him strong abilities, but in general I don't think he was that good. I think that these nerfs were based more around rank 20s because they said that he was too strong at that rank. And I understand what they're saying, but I think it takes a rank 20. I'm not trying to be mean, but it does take higher ranks longer to understand a killer that obviously don't play as much. So I think they just need to wait more time for Freddy to people to learn how to counter him, how to play against him, rather than just nerf him outright. I think that's all I have for you guys this video. Let's just hope that the devs don't nerf him, or at least don't nerf him too hard, because I do think that Freddy can be a good killer. I don't think he's even that good right now. I do not think he's top tier at all. I think he's lower tier. And I think his biggest strength is survivors grouping up and tracking, but he can be ran around in circles way too easily. You see right now I had to chase that girl all the way around, like I had to just stare at her. So she had that far to a window, she had lied, and she had borrowed time, making it almost impossible for me to catch up to her. And then she's self-healing. So thank you guys so much for watching. I don't have much else to tell you. If you liked the video, then leave a like. If you disliked it, then dislike it. Put in the comments below whether you agree with this nerf or you don't agree with it. And let's get a little discussion going on what you think Freddy's strengths are and weaknesses are, and let's have a little talk. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.